NPA head Shamila Batohi, meanwhile, is under intense scrutiny at the Nkabinde Inquiry, which is probing the Johannesburg prosecution's boss, Andrew Chauke's fitness to hold office. Batohi has accused Chauke of making decisions without considering all the facts, but under cross-examination, she admitted to not reading some key documents. Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala has been following those proceedings for us. She joins us live in Pretoria this Monday. Nqobile, this is an inquiry into Andrew Chauke's fitness to hold office. It's quickly become an inquiry into some of Shamila Batohi's decision.
Well, definitely, Michelle. In fact, as you speak about the documentation that was not read, it also has become evidence that in most of the evidence that we are finding here, there's questions around whether or not she's seen it, whether she has spoken to it, if she has interacted with it. She keeps saying that she has to relook at it, she has to maybe read it again. But of course, we know that there's over 10,000 pages of this evidence, so it's quite difficult to go through every single thing. However, she has also made a reason that one of the reasons why she has not interacted with some of these cases is mainly because she was reliant on the legal opinion that was coming from various advocates, and one of them is de Kock. Another one would be Advocate Hali, who's currently the NPA representative as well, and she's saying that she relied on most of that. However, it's been questionable, especially when it comes to cases like of the Ndlovu, who is a 16-year-old, which we understand that when the mother actually got quite hurt by how it was handled in KZN, she then went on to write an email through Mary de Haas, and she tried to explain what was taking place in KZN and how she felt that the prosecutors themselves were throwing the case away and not necessarily assisting with the case, and they felt that they could be defeating the hands of justice in that case. And it seemed like nothing was done by the NPA. In fact, what we heard from Advocate Shamila Batohi is that she then took that case and she sent it to the DPP in KZN to interact with it. But the question around it was the fact that because this was all part of the racketeering charge or the racketeering certificates that was issued, and these were witnesses and people that were affected by the Cater Manor unit, why wasn't National actually the one that responded to these cases? But it's not the only one. It's also the matter of Danikas, who was initially, we were told that he's a reservist. We've come to find out that he's an inspector. And we know that in the beginning, in the testimony, we were told that his statements were not signed. But now we've seen defense bringing in a statement that was signed. Not only that, they've also brought in evidence, which was of a video evidence of him being on the ground and having to see what was taking place with regards to the Cater Manor unit. And this is some of the evidence that was sent to Advocate Shamila's office, and it seems she had not interacted with that evidence. And you'll remember in the beginning, even the inquiry itself did ask her if she did interact with the evidence, because this was quite crucial. She says there's nothing that forces her to interact with the evidence, as she was reliant to some of these advocates. However, it's a question on whether or not these decisions were made in a place of knowing really what was taking place. So we are going to hear more once the inquiry begins.
So, Nqobile, just very quickly, we're obviously getting to the end of December, closer to Christmas. Until when does this inquiry finish its work? Until when does it sit?
So even though they haven't clearly stated it, we are expecting that it will go on for this entire week and most likely will then conclude on Friday. However, one of the issues, Michelle, is that we know that Advocate Shamila Batohi remains on oath. So we don't know if they are going to get time to conclude her evidence, because we know that there are also various people that needs to be brought on the stand, which we heard even on Friday that they could potentially even be looking to bringing General Boysen also to come through. So we are expecting that it will go on for this week and get more details as we conclude then.